everybody, Tony here, Creative Fish Studio. I'm in the fish room. I'm a big, hot, sweaty mess. I've been out in the yard. We've been ripping out a deck, and I've got to redo the supports for a roof that we have back there over the deck because it was built terribly, and so I'm sweaty, my hair's poofy. But I'm in the fish room here. We're going to be talking about the saltwater tank because I've been getting some questions about it, about the lighting and the setup. And so you see the blue glow behind me, so we know we're talking saltwater. First of all, though, I just want to say thank you to everybody. We've hit 150 subscribers, and that's been pretty quickly, so it's pretty exciting to see the channel growing. Having a lot of fun with the fish, and we're just capturing it on video. And the fact that people are watching and commenting, and it's just fantastic. So thank you so much for your support. But let's, I'm going to flip this all around and get the microphone turned so you can hear me behind the camera and you can see the fish instead of my sweaty mug. So let's do this. Alright, so here is the tank. As you can see, it's really blue right now and it's flickering, but the cool thing is about the app right here, we can go in and we can adjust the light. And for video, if you have the cool whites on at 100%, everything kind of looks natural on camera and it gets rid of that flicker. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Alright, so this is a pretty simple setup, but everything in here seems to be thriving. I'm a beginner, but again, like I said, I've got a lot of things growing, and I've only had a couple of things that didn't really make it. And one of them was brand new, and the other was my own fault for putting it too high and giving it too much light. And so we'll talk about that, but let's quickly look up here. This is what a few people have been asking about. I've only got one of these primes above this tank. And the answer is yes, I only have one AI prime. Now here is what I did. I've taken this prime and I got the gooseneck arm. There's two options. There's this pliable... Alright, so there's going to be interruptions. Every time that my well pump right next to the tank here kicks on, I'm going to stop talking for a minute. And so there'll be little breaks. Kind of annoying. Anyway, you can see it's just a gooseneck that's adjustable, and why I chose this was that I could get it nice and high above the tank. I had it about 16 inches above the tank. Let me just verify that. Alright, so here we go. Let's see. So the bottom of the light here to the tank is right at 16 inches. This is right where I had it before. I just straightened it back up so it was centered above the tank. But 16 inches. Now, there's another bracket that they sell. Hold on one second. This one right here. This is the other bracket that they have, and as you can see, it is a solid bracket. Now this one looks like it can go maybe 12 to 14 inches above the tank. Hold on a second. Alright, so yes, the height of this one can only go 12 inches above. And so my water level is about an inch below, but right now I've got it sitting about 10 inches above. But this is not as wide of a tank, and I don't need the same spread. It's a square, and so it's about perfect to go edge to edge in here. So let's go back to the other tank. Alright, so here we are. So I've got the AI Prime above the tank at about 16 inches, and it gives me the nice spread from corner to corner with lots of light. And the corals are doing great. The Monty Pora up here, the rainbow, is looking beautiful. This coral, I actually fragged when I got it. It was 3 stems on it, and now I fragged each one of those. This one at the bottom was one of those frags. It's now got 2 heads. This is up to 4 heads again. These zoas started as just 3 little flowers, and they're growing. At the reef show, I picked up a couple more of the zoas. I was hoping to get different ones. This one in the back is different, but this one at the top is the exact same as what I'd already purchased, which was a bit of a bummer. Oh well. Anyway, you can see the problem that I'm running with now is I'm getting a lot of algae. But you can see the green here, and especially here, it's like really just blowing. Here you can see the sand sifting starfish is kind of peeking out a little bit. The setup here is pretty simple with 2 power heads. The original one in the back, and I had 2 of these, and I had another one over here. But I replaced it with this MP10 because I won it at a raffle, and so I thought I'd throw it in. And it's an amazing power head. being able to do waves and some of the other stuff. Not necessary at all. It was running great without it. I've got the protein skimmer here, just a simple hang on back, and then this is my auto top off right here, which is got the little Nemo clamp holding this in, that runs over here to just a Lowe's bucket with a pump in here. I can't remember the rate that pumps to be able to push it in. It barely can get it up to the top of the tank to fill the aquarium, but it's just enough. So it's an ATO. But that is really it. I've got, you know, live rock, live sand, and that's what I started with, was live rock, live sand, the protein skimmer, and the 2 power heads. I then added the hang on back filter just to help clear it up a little bit. And then when I wanted to do corals, I got this really nice light for it. But I only bought 1 of them. A lot of people said I would need 2. But with this gooseneck here, I'm able to get enough spread, and I still have enough light to really hit everything that needs it. And so I'm running at 92% at max power on this. It's not the HD, so if you have the HD, you get even more power. Now, the issue that you could run into is shadow spots, because it's a single light source and it creates shadow. If you had 2, it could help fill in shadows of each other. But for the corals that I'm having in here right now, I'm all right. As far as the algae is concerned right now, I have I had some snails in here. I couldn't keep them because the Toby kept destroying them. They became his meal. I have a couple of worthless hermit crabs that are very small, but I just picked up back here this little sea urchin in the back that's supposed to just devour this algae that I have growing on my corals now. This is one of the corals that I did lose. I put it too high and it bleached out, and now it's just got algae growing in it, but it's still cool shape, so I'm leaving it in there. The other was the frog spawn that I picked up. It lasted like a day after the reef show, and then it died, whereas the other corals are still doing great. So that was a bummer. I really like the look of it back there, and I'm looking for another beautiful one like that one that was in there. So that's it. I mean, I keep it as simple as possible. I really do need to do a scrub down. You can see the back wall has algae on it, the side walls. I need to actually, at this point, this has been running. I've never taken it off and cleaned it, and it's now at the point where I'm going to unplug it, take it out, clean down the exterior of it, and give it a cleaning here. You can see it's just getting really green, and there's a lot of algae on it. So I'll knock a lot of that off and get it cleaned up. But overall, it's been simple to maintain. It's getting costly because of corals and things like that. I did make the mistakes and some other mistakes, like buying the Hippo tank, but there's a little secret that I want to tell you about what's been going on with this tank and some of the rules that I broke. All right, so here's where I break out the honesty card with you. We normally like to make it look like we do everything by the book perfectly. Our parameters are 100% perfect. Well, here's the deal. This tank was running way over what I was told it should be running at. They said 80, 82 maximum, or you'll kill your corals. Well, this tank was running at 84 degrees, 85 all summer long, because I could not keep the temperature in the garage down with fans running, the door open. I was actually opening the door from my house to let air conditioning in here with a fan circulating it in. I was putting ice or water bottles in the freezer and then putting them in to help chill the water a little bit, but I gave up because it was too much work. And so even at 84, 85, things were thriving, and I didn't have the algae problem that I have right now when it's running at 78 degrees. Trying to get it up to 80, that's where I want to be at. And so, I don't know, you know. There's rules, and then sometimes for some reason you don't follow them as closely as you should, and it still does all right. And that's just kind of a testament as to how hardy some of these things are, because I don't, again, know fully what I'm doing other than keeping the water parameters good, everything except for the temperature, and things were thriving. So let's get back into the tank. All right, so I'm back at the tank, and now as much as I love this tank, I'm really looking to go bigger. I would like to get something larger than 125 gallons that I can put along this whole shelving unit here. Remove this and put in a large tank, 6 foot long at least. I'll black out this window more than I've already blacked it out because it still shines through a little bit. I'll get a really heavy like velvet or something that won't let any light in. We'll black that out so that we can have a tank here that's long and big, because eventually as this hippo tang grows, or this blue tang, he's going to need the room to swim. I want to get some other tangs, yellow tangs specifically. That's one of my favorite fish. They just jump out of the tank. That bright yellow is just unbelievable. But there's other fish that I'd like to be able to have. Most of them that I want, I can't get because either they're not reef safe or they require a larger tank than a 40 gallon. So I'm already pushing it by having the hippo tang in. He was super tiny when I got him, but he's growing. I've probably got another year. Not that I want to keep him in a small tank that long, but I'm actively searching for tanks and stand systems on OfferUp, Letgo, and now the new Facebook has that feature. And I saw one actually on Facebook that I was interested in. I'm keeping my options open, also looking at what it would cost to get into something new. And I would like to get something used that has a lot of the components and then switch out what might not be functioning properly or full bore. But I know that a lot of this stuff retail is very expensive. And so if I could get something with a sump, or turn this into my sump, have a larger protein skimmer and some of the other things set up, then I think it'd be a little bit better off for jumping into it. So that's where it's at, guys. But for just doing a basic reef tank like this in a 40 gallon breeder, it started out as a very simple setup, and just keep adding to it, and I'm loving every minute of it. So that's it here from Tony at Creative Fish Studio. And for those of you that have been asking about the lights or some of the other setup, that's just another quick run through on it, hopefully a little bit more detailed. And feel free to ask any questions. Again, I'm new, so I'll answer what I'm doing. But there might be some other pros out there that know a lot more that might want to chime in and give all of us some of their sage wisdom. So thanks for stopping in. Thanks for the comments, for the subscriptions, and we'll see you all next time.